Welcome to my channel to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for the price development of XRP, Dogecoin, Solana and Cardano. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade as cheap as me, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which has a similar trading volume to Bitget, OKX and Bybit, but as you can see the takeoff fees are far much lower than on the other top crypto exchanges. And with my referral link, which you can find in the video description, you will also save another 20% on those low takeoff fees. And 100 pairs are tradable without any fees on mexc, and here's a huge list of popular altcoins which you can trade without any fees. So let's start with XRP. So I think XRP is currently in a rectangle, but it is on the 50-minute chart, so it can be a double bottom pattern or a double top pattern, so in the end of the day rectangle. Here we take the length of that box, this one here, and if we break to the upside or downside, it doesn't matter. We take it, we put it to the breakout point. If the $2.26 break to the downside, sustainable, then we can say $2.22 is going to get our target, where we also have this red trend line, which I think is let's say a short trend line, where if we break it to the downside afterwards, the $2.22, then XRP is short to me and bearish. At least we have a huge fair value gap lower than us, $2.18, but $2.14 is also going to get us good support, where we can also drop once we break the $2.22 to the downside. So this was the bearish scenario. What about the bullish one? If the $2.30 breaks to the downside sustainable, then we can get to $2.34, where the target of that rectangle is. I have drew this scenario here a bit earlier. I can just put it time-wise to the right. This is going to get very interesting, that circle between $2.36 to $2.34. I think that's realistic once we break the $2.30 to the upside. So I can take this one like this and do it like this. So if the $2.36 break to the upside, then I think we can get a good push to the upside up to $2.44, because we also had said here is also a rectangle. We take here the length as well. We broke it to the upside. We broke it also to the downside again. Here was the push to the upside, and we failed the retest and use it as resistance. So if we get over it with a nice push and the $2.33, then this would get us the follow through, and we can push into that area here. I would even say up to $2.47, because there's also a huge resistance line where we meet the top of the falling wedge. So I can take this out and we can go to Dogecoin. So Dogecoin, yeah, it's going sideways. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do a rectangle here, because we have so many wicks that I can't find the perfect one, where I would say, okay, here it's going to get very with a high chance, if we get over it, that this rectangle is going to work. So I'm just going to wait a bit longer for that. I can take this one out. What I think here is, okay, this might be a flag or a panel. If we break it to the upside, which is the roundabout 18 cents, then it would be positive and we can head to 18.26 cents for Dogecoin. The first trade which I would take for Dogecoin would be if we break the 18.26 cents to the upside. So if we break the bull flag or the panel here to the upside, then it's not long to me. Then it's just an indication that we can get up to 18.3 cents. But here is the trade which I want to take, because I think that this whole structure here is a rectangle. And if we take the target of that, then we can say 19.1 cents is going to get the target of that rectangle. I would even say consider taking profits far earlier, 18.9 cents, because this is going to get a major resistance for us. But the same, I would say the same game, we also have to the downside. Yeah, we have that rectangle. If we break it to the upside, would be positive. But if we break it to the downside, then the target would be the 16.5 cents. So I would look for those key levels, 18.26 cents to 17.45 cents. If anything of that breaks to the upside or downside, then this is my entry for a trade. And afterwards we have to say, if we break to the downside, then I don't want to think about a very bearish scenario, because we have many trend lines, support trend lines, which if we break it to the downside and to the downside, then we can even get into a huge bearish trend for Dogecoin. I'm not going to say that we are going back to the lows here. I doubt it. I will also take this circle out. But we can probably expect a major pullback if we break certain trend lines, which are the red ones, to the downside. So, what about Solana? Solana looks far more bullish to me, but I have to go into the 1 hour chart. So, this here can be a double bottom pattern, which currently breaks to the upside. So, the candle closes soon, in 10 minutes, 11 minutes. If we get the candle close over the blue trend line, I will put you a price mark here. 149.27 cents dollar, sorry. Then it would be positive. I would still wait for the retest, and it looks like that we can even dip a bit lower, because we have here a very, very small fair value gap, if we even can count it as fair value gap. But I would wait for the retest, and then Solana is long to me into the price mark of 153 US dollar. I will also take profits earlier, maybe here or maybe here. There I want to be out of the trade, and if we break the 153 US dollar to the upside, then it would be positive. 157 is going to get our target, and I can take out the target of the rising wedge, which was the bearish pattern, which we also break to the downside. We would invalidate that target if we break to the upside and get over 157 US dollar. So also keep in mind, it might be possible that in the next minutes we are going to sell off and we don't get the candle close over the 149 US dollar, or the retest afterwards fails. If we then break the 145 US dollar to the downside, then the target would be the 136 US dollar. And then we would get into this area here where we would fill the fair value gap and also get of our two targets of the chart patterns. So we have to see, in the end of the day, we have the price marks. We just have to track breakouts, and if we see breakouts, we can most likely jump into a safe trade. So what about Cardano? For Cardano, we have to go into the 15 minutes chart. On the 15 minutes chart, I have seen a rising wedge. If it breaks to the downside, it's not showing us a bearish reversal. If the 71 cents breaks to the downside, then I would say, okay, we should get another pullback, at least to 69.7 cents, where we have here support. And maybe from here we get a nice push to the upside. But Cardano would be long once we get over the resistance area, over 73.4 cents. If we get a nice push to the upside over it, with a nice retest, then Cardano is going to get long to me, at least into the circle area 75 cents to 76 cents for Cardano. I would just look for the 68.7 cents. If they break to the downside, then it wouldn't be positive, because the target would then be the 64 cents for Cardano, but I don't think that it's going to happen within a few hours. So we can look into that scenario once we even get near to those kinds of levels, price levels. So thank you for watching, and I hope that I gave you some valuable informations which you can maybe use for your tradings, for your trading style, or even gave you some insights on how to trade, which indicators are maybe which setups are possible, and so on and so on. So see you in the next video.